Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to talk about new player progression. And more specifically, I'm going to go over what my plans are for the new account I will be creating tomorrow. Because if you're not aware, during the developer livestream they discuss some of the changes they're going to make to new player progression. So the special guide mission will change, the banners that you have access to will change, and we're going to cover some of those changes in this video. I'm going to summarize what they said, and then I'm going to share with you what I plan on doing. So we're going to go through the beginner guide, see which parts are not that relevant anymore, and which ones I think should be changed a bit. And I will make all the changes to the guide over the course of the next days, probably 1 week or so. I need to first test firsthand how the progression is going. But I will be releasing update videos on the free-to-play account progression over the course of the next days. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be on a business trip. I will also hardly have time for the live stream, so that's going to be tricky. And I definitely cannot make a day one free-to-play account progression. And this video is kind of the replacement for that. So I will tell you beforehand what I think I will do and what I will likely do. And then I'm going to update maybe on the second day or on the third day about the progression, how it went. And then when it makes sense to apply the changes to the beginner guide, I will do so, and I will release yet another video. So everyone that started before the update, so everyone that already started playing, if it's recent, you will probably have to create a new one tomorrow, because the changes don't seem to be retroactive. So if you start today, tomorrow new players will have a different system and you will still have the old one. So keep that in mind. But okay, that being said, let's start with a summary of what they kind of said during the live stream. And again, take everything with a grain of salt, because one, the developers are extremely unreliable. Whatever they said could turn out to be false or not true or whatever. Really, I don't trust them one bit. And second, there is also the fact that the stream was in Korean, the translations are kind of garbage, so we cannot be 100% sure about what they said exactly. So keep that in mind. Things might change from what I'm about to tell you, but this should be accurate enough. Okay. So the first change is that the welcome teammate summon for new players, maybe let me also put it up here in the guide, which is this one, is going to have a duration of 28 days. I think the first one has like 21, the current variation, so it has 1 week more. And they're going to double the probability of getting SSR or above units, which is pretty crazy because it was already, I think, 10% total. So it gets to 20. Again, might be not accurate, but there should be an increase in the percentage, which is pretty massive. They also mentioned that they're going to remove the non-stop SSR summon, this one, which was already kind of hard to use and not really that intuitive. So it seems like they're removing it. It's not guaranteed, you never know, but seems to be the case. And that would also explain why they're doubling the rates here, which I think is totally fine. They're also expanding the pool of units. So these priorities will likely change and more units will probably be added. And the only two that are actually missing are Cherry and Ju, so I think they're just going to add every single SSR unit. And if these two are in the pool, I will say later what I think you guys should be doing, so we're going to touch on that. But yeah, basically this is the first change, so likely removal of the non-stop SSR banner, doubling the rates of the welcome summon, and extending for 1 week the total duration. That's the first big change. The second change is that all of these, where are those? The non-stop, okay, probably they were at the beginning. Let me double check again. Yeah. The 3 non-stop SSR plus summons are going to be removed. So there are not going to be 3 different banners. There is going to be only one with a total of 1,600 tickets, which is basically what you could get from this 1,000 plus 400 plus 200 potentially. So the total amount of summons is the same, but you only have one banner with an expanded pool of units. And you can probably change the target, because 1600 on just one, it's too much. So they will let you swap it. Maybe once you max out the first unit, you can then change it to the next one, which would be definitely good. And I'm also going to talk about which unit I think you should pick. We have information on the unit that they will replace white with. So in the special guide mission, white is not going to be the recommended first pick anymore. Seems to be like they are going to recommend Hugo instead, which is massive. And it seems like Hugo is the only recommendation, so we won't have to max 3 units for the special guide mission, but only 1. That's what it seems like. Again, take everything with a grain of salt. It might be false, but this is definitely a great change. Also, the banner is going to last for 28 days as well. So we have 28 days to use the 1600 tickets. Way better than the previous version, because it was like 1 week. And also at times you could maybe unlock the banner early and not get the tickets until later. So by the time you get the ticket, the banner is already expired. Happened to me once. So not the best. This time it's definitely a lot better with 1600 total and 28 days duration. Also, the fact that they expanded the pool and they recommended Hugo instead of white is a massive change. Really massive, massive change. So great changes. That's about all that they discussed. So that's the end of the summary. Let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong, if you understood something differently, but this seems to be the case. So, what is my plan for the new account and why I'm obviously creating the new account? Because I want to update the guide, so I need to firsthand experience all of these changes. And also, it's a great time to start because we will have the Urek banner. Not sure if it's going to be 1 week or 2 weeks. Should be 2 because they didn't specify any duration in the notice. So I'm expecting 2-week duration for the Urek banner. And immediately after, there's going to be 2 weeks for Urek. Seems like a lot, but for a new player, it's extremely easy to max both. So we're going to start by maxing Hugo, great first team. And in the meantime, we're also going to pull on Urek. So we already have 2 teams, which is floor 50 guaranteed, no issues. And then we're going to use the trial of the new unit, Robodon, to make the third team, even though that might not be necessary. Because let's go back to the to this banner here, the welcome summon. If they expand the pool of units, they include Cherry and Ju, they open up the potential for 2 additional carries. And at that point, I would say, okay, sure, Mamanak is a priority. Reflejo, we could consider him a priority as well. You don't necessarily have to use him in the first 2 teams, but why not? And then kind of up to you if you want to go Yura immediately or if you want to start with Ju first. It doesn't really matter because by the time you get to 3 teams, you probably already have 3, 4, or maybe even 5 SSR maxed out. So Ju is definitely going to be between them. I would say the highlighted ones would all be good to go for. I would probably go Ju right after Reflejo. That's what I will plan on doing. And with Ju maxed, if you just give her a Sundance and you keep her alive, she's going to be an extremely good carry. So you have your Hugo carrying 1 team, you have Urek carrying a second one, you have Ju carrying a third one, and that third team will need most of your resources. And then we have the 4th team when Luzlik comes out, and I expect him to do well already at 0 dupes. So with the 0 dupes Luzlik, you can make already an additional team, and it will definitely be able to push quite a bit. And with 4 teams, you can basically get to floor 100, and by then you already have both of them maxed out. I think you should get to around floor 70 to have both units maxed out, give or take, unless you are extremely unlucky. So as you can tell, it is extremely easy for a new player to just go ahead and push. And you're going to get access to the Trescence facility fairly quickly. On my last free-to-play account, I tried. After 1 week, I already had all 3 pages and a basic accuracy swiftness setup, which was pretty solid. I was extremely lucky, so I don't expect that to happen in this case as well. I'm taking for good like 2 weeks to set up the True Essence facility with at least 60 to 65 swiftness in each and every page. That's my goal. In 2 weeks, I want to get that. And Ju, again, will definitely be a great carry. Potentially, if you're struggling, you can also opt for a V if you need an additional team and Luzlek is not released yet. Or if you have the chance in the normal banner and you get to PT, you might get a Cha, for example, unless they also expand the SSR Plus units that we can get from the Welcome Summon. That would be pretty cool. Because at that point, I will definitely update this list as well. I would rank Cha fairly high for both the utility and the damage potential at 0 dupes. So it would be a unit I would recommend, probably even instead of Ju at that point, if they actually update that. So I will make sure to double check it. And a unit like Eden, you can skip him for now. You can use a Sundance unit instead, and you will be fine. You don't necessarily need a lot of copies of him. What you definitely need, since we're starting Hugo, you want to go for Irang. Absolutely a must-have. I would say Revolution Bomb could be decent with Urek, but Urek will realistically kill everything on his own, so you don't really need teammates at first, but it's a decent one. And at the beginning, you can just use Mamanak, link to him for as long as you need 2 teams. When you need 3, you might want to link Mamanak to Evan when you have him 0 dupes so that he can keep alive your Ju or your whatever third carry you picked. And you might even want to try for your second non-stop unit to go for Iwa. She's a support, but I think she's definitely valuable enough, unless they release even better supports, but I don't think so. I don't think they will get, no. I mean, I think Iwa is going to be really solid because, again, you can do the combo with Mamanak and Iwa Revolution 5, and then you can add Chad 0 dupes, you can add Ju, you can add Vivi, maxed out if you have her. You can add low copies Eden, even though it's not as consistent as the other options I just mentioned. You could even add Red Mask Warrior maxed out if you decided to go for her as well. So you have a lot of options, and with just 3 units, you can really clear a lot of stuff. You could also add at 0 dupes Rashut. I don't think Rashut is going to be added to the Welcome Summon banner. Pretty sure she won't, but we're going to get her from also some free copies they're going to give over the course of 28 days, because there is also an additional check-in event where they give us basically 24 SSR Plus units and 4 SSR units. So really good stuff coming for new players. You have a lot of options, and these are kind of the setups that I plan on creating, if that makes sense. So let me just recap it a little bit. Hugo, first pick in the non-stop SSR Plus. Second pick, from my point of view, should be Anniversary Iwa, so that we can get her closer to Rainbow 5. Then you will use your Suspendium and your black market tickets on the Urek Advent banner, and we're going to max him out as soon as possible. So we have Hugo for one team and Urek for the second. That is already floor 50. So super easy, no issues. And in terms of team comps, as I mentioned, you go Hugo plus Irang for team 1, and there you can also add the Yellow Bomb and Evan if you need to. Is not a must. You can easily get away without that, but it could be a nice addition. Hugo should be able to sustain herself, but for that you need a good True Essence facility, so not that easy early on. Will depend on that, but adding BAM plus 7 seems reasonable. You can even add Okni, definitely great addition. So that's it for the first team. For the second team, I would basically just go Mamanak and Urek, and that's fine. Literally don't need anything else. If you have a 0 dupes Iwa, go ahead and use Iwa. If you have 0 dupes, whatever unit you want, you can go ahead and throw them there. But Urek will do most of the job on his own. So those are the 2 teams. Once we get to the third team, that's where Ju will come into play. We will move Mamanak from the Urek team to the Ju team. There we will need some frontline units. So at 0 dupes, Data Machine is one. or a Zero Dupes Urek would both work well as an initial front line. Then you go Mamanak linked to probably Evan that we're going to remove from Hugo, because by that point your Hugo should be able to stay alive on her own with just Irang, and Irang, even if she dies, we don't care. As long as she groups enemies for the first time, we're good. So in Ju team, we're going to have Mamanak, Data Machine for, again, buying some more time. Then we will have Ju, and you can add potentially whatever you want. You can also go with the Bam Evan I mentioned before, because Hugo probably won't need them anymore. Or you can go with Albelda linked to Ju, or you can add an additional DPS. So you could also add V to the whole team. You could also decide to go more tanky, and instead of going with Data Machine or Data Zahard, you could go with Anna plus Reflejo. So they're going to do some initial grouping, and then Reflejo is going to face tank them, and then you have Mamanak linked to Evan keeping the whole team alive, and you have Ju dealing the damage. Kind of depends, we'll see what you have. If you have a Zero Dupes Cha, just use the same comp, but Cha instead of Ju, or add Cha on top and have him as a second DPS. Those are all perfectly viable. Then I would say you can get to floor 70 fairly easily. The only issue will be once you get to floor 70, how many tickets you have. If you were unlucky with Urek Banner, maybe you're quite low. So we'll see how many copies of Luzlik you can get. We'll also see if Luzlik can actually carry you. Because the issue is, it seems like there is no additional SSR Plus unit for Luzlik, which means you cannot use the trial to get a maxed out SSR Plus to use as a pushing unit. So worst case scenario, you could say, okay, I got to 470 within the first 2 weeks. You could decide then to use Rabadon trial at the very end so that you can maybe make up for a fourth team. That's given that Rabadon can actually deal some damage. We'll see, again, once everything is live. But for the very first few days, I think Team 1 and Team 2 will be more than enough. And by the time we get to Team 3, I will definitely already have released other update videos with more information with the Rabadon kit and how to use the trial. So I would recommend you guys not to use the trial immediately. Wait it out a bit. At the very least, you should have Hugo maxed out. And then you should probably activate it on next Friday, so not the Friday of this week, the next one, so that you have the possibility of using him for the trial, the green trial, on both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And talking about Origin trials, you should try to unlock them on day one. Let me double check when they unlock, at which floor, because they changed that all the fucking time. Okay, then there is all the ads, fine. Where did I put that? Okay, here. So we have Trust and Facilities unlocked immediately. That's fine. Mock Battle. Okay. Trial of Origin, floor 20. Okay, so you can unlock that day one. And from day one, remember, every single day, clear all the stages that you have available. You want to get as high as possible. I think early on you have 50 clears per day, up to probably 300 or 350. I don't remember. So definitely do all the 50 clears every single day. And on Saturday and Sunday, you have 50 for all the colors. So that's going to be super important that you don't miss on those, because they will give you a lot of resources early on, like keys, announcement extracts, etc. But most importantly, from 355 and above, you get black market tickets. And from 605 and above, you get a lot of black market tickets. We're talking about 180 per week. You will probably not get there by the time that Luzlik is released, but at that point, you already have enough resources for Luzlik. You will just get the additional black market tickets for whichever unit come next. If they decide for whatever reason to release an EX unit in January as well, you will at least be prepared. So don't skip on your Trial of Origin. Super important. My goal for day one will probably be, I think it would be realistic to get to, oh, they lowered hard mode to third. No, okay, it was probably not lower, it was already like that. My goal would be to unlock hard mode on day one at the very least. So floor 30, 60 on day one. We'll see if I can put it off because I won't have any time to do it. But if I can, that would be great. Not sure I can put it off. You let me know also if you manage to do it. But that's my goal, I would say. Then on day 2, I would already like to get to floor 50 and maybe even higher. We'll see. No, probably day 2 is still unrealistic to get to floor 50. Will depend on the links, etc. But we'll see. Definitely by the first week, we need to be around floor 50 and a bit more. That would be my goal. But day 1, I will try to at least unlock hard mode. I definitely want to get there, because by the time you get to hard mode, then your link progression will skyrocket fairly quickly, and getting to 50 shouldn't be that hard. And that's about it. I think the remaining points are not that relevant. I will definitely change the screenshots here with more accurate ones after I do the initial teams and the initial days of pushing. I will also double check the rewards and maybe update the rewards from the special guide missions. We'll see everything once the thing is live. But in terms of the teams I plan on using, the units I plan on pulling for, I should have covered everything. If you have any doubts or questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'll make sure to reply as soon as I can. And again, tomorrow we'll see each other for the live stream. I kind of had a poll on my Discord asking which time I should do the live stream, because I will be on a business trip. I don't really have a lot of time slots available. And most people asked for the one between like 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central European time. I'll try my best to maybe start a bit early. Will depend on when I can actually finish my day at work, and then I will start the stream immediately after. And we're going to do the pulls for Abaddon, unless I decide to pull earlier. We'll see. It will really depend. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys, but it's a mess. So yeah, that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.